I don't know, because to your question, how do you replace him in this Champions League season? I don't think that there's a player out there that is affordable for significantly less than the price that you would sell him for that can provide the production, the talent, the skill that Alexander Isak does. They went and found the player at Real Sociedad that was well above, or I guess well below what he should have been in terms of the transfer fee. So how do you go and find a player if it's Benjamin Sesko? I don't think he's anywhere close to the player right now that Alexander Isak is.
The big story, though, remains, Witty, this Isak situation. It seemed like when Hugo Ekitike signed with Liverpool that this was kind of going to be maybe done. He's going to stay at Newcastle. August 16th, their first game against Villa. Is he going to be leading the line for the Magpies?
I think we're getting ever closer to that not being the case. And that is, frankly, shocking for me. I really thought that once this Saudi project began, I remember when the Manchester City project began under their Abu Dhabi ownership 15 years ago, that you don't really see players leave because they're always taken care of as best as any player could be taken care of in the Premier League because it's sort of their unlimited budget. But in the PSR era, where teams have to be more responsible and spend in accordance with their expenses, you don't see Newcastle be able to go and splash the cash. I think they kind of recognize that it would do two things. It would, one, it would blow up their financial model at the moment, and they'd be paying a lot of salary to a player. There's reports out there that he wants £300,000 a week. He is currently on a little more than 100. They're offering him something in the range of £200,000 a week. So if they got him up to 300, you're putting yourself at risk of the profit sustainability regulations, and you're also kind of risking that everyone else is going to come to knock on the manager's door and go, can I get a raise? Can I get a raise? Can I get a raise? And all of a sudden you're having a team that's more expensive than you can afford. So that is the risk right now for Newcastle, and you wonder how this problem is going to be solved. Chelsea appear like they're not interested. Liverpool have already gone and bought their striker, but maybe if they sell Luis Diaz, just keep buying more. Go full Chelsea and just buy everyone. Is it the Saudi Pro League? You don't know what the answer is for Alexander Isak. But the more that these stories come out, the more that kind of he's not part of the preseason tour, the more you think it's a legitimate possibility that he might not be around for next season.
But that's the thing that I think changed this is when he doesn't get on that plane and he's going to stay behind. It's this signal that I want out, and now or to your point, I want money. But it seems like the easiest way to get the money is maybe to go out. And if you're Newcastle right now, do you say, okay, it's a 9-figure price tag. I don't care if it's euros, dollars, or pounds. It's 9 figures he's making if he walks out that door. But how do they replace him in a Champions League season? Remember, last time they were in the Champions League 2 years ago, it did not go well for them. So they want to have a chance to build forward and actually compete in that competition. He has to be there. But the question is, will he be there? Is it best for him to be in that squad, or should he go to Saudi and make the money? If Liverpool came calling, I imagine that would be a great spot, but that's, again, a 9-figure price tag. They've already played Wirtz that much, and, you know, a bunch for Ekitike as well.
Basically, for me, the only other club that would look like they could be in that realm would be Paris Saint-Germain. I don't know if they're even interested in having a striker. So I think it's the other 3 Premier League giants, Manchester City, or 4, I guess you can say, Manchester City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, that are in the realm that can spend like that. Paris Saint-Germain can spend like that. Maybe Real Madrid and Bayern, but I don't see particular needs for them at the moment either. So the options aren't really there. So the Saudi Pro League is where a lot of players have turned towards leverage. But that's sort of a fascinating dynamic in and of itself because they have the same owners. Newcastle is owned by the Saudi Public Investment Fund, and all the 4 big clubs in the Saudi Pro League are owned by the Saudi Public Investment Fund. So are you robbing Peter to pay Paul? Are you calling yourself and saying, hey, what do you think?
Let's do this deal.
Yeah, hey, I'm interested. What do you think? Yeah, maybe. Why not? And that would be bizarre, too. So I don't know how this gets resolved. And you can understand Isak looking at all the players around him and seeing what other players are making and saying, what I deliver, I'm on the level of Erling Haaland, whoever you want to mention, and be right up there at £300,000 a week or whatever commensurate is. And you can see here, top goal scorers right up there. It's kind of funny to see Chris Wood's name in this conversation, but Brian Mbomo, Mo Salah as well. All these players are making a ton of money. He deserves a big-time raise off the basis of what he performed last season and what you would project him to do in the future. But that's going to be a really difficult situation to sort out if Newcastle want to keep buying players and also stay compliant within the rules, which they have to do.
For Newcastle, if you're them, is it that simple that we are going to pay him, or would you risk having him be a malcontent playing on your team? And I mean, if he suits up on August 16th and he's not happy, we've seen guys not be happy, especially strikers, and not really turn in a shift.
I don't know, because to your question, how do you replace him in this Champions League season? I don't think that there's a player out there that is affordable for significantly less than the price that you would sell him for that can provide the production, the talent, the skill that Alexander Isak does. They went and found the player at Real Sociedad that was well above, or I guess well below what he should have been in terms of the transfer fee. So how do you go and find a player if it's Benjamin Šeško? I don't think he's anywhere close to the player right now that Alexander Isak is. So it's a difficult job on. Even if you do get all the money, 120, 100, 150, whatever you want to call it, it's going to be incredibly difficult to replace a player who delivers the caliber of player that he is. So I think that's a big job on. I think just from it's not my money and it's not my club, you just say, just pay him. Whatever it takes to keep him at the football club, you pay him. But I understand that in the modern era, with the way that the rules are structured and enforced now, it's not that simple.
Yeah, it's a definitely different game than City was playing, as you mentioned, just 5 or 6 years ago. If Liverpool did get him, they're already the favorites. Is this thing a wrap? I mean, when you look at Wirtz, Ekitike, him, Salah, like that front 6, they wouldn't all play at the same time, I imagine, but that would be wild. Is it over?
No, just because I appreciate that there is the real temptation to say that, but I don't think so. Just because, yes, all these brilliant players are there, but you got to do it on the pitch. It is not just as simple as playing Football Manager or playing FIFA and just getting all the best players. I still think that there are teams that can catch them. Liverpool already, as you said, are the favorites. They've already spent over $300 million. Yeah. It's crazy what they've done in this summer, but I don't think it would be wrapped up. We've seen so many teams, not just in football, but in other sports, that it all looks so great on paper. Just get all the best talent and it'll make sense. Not come together because it's ultimately a team game. If this were, I don't know, baseball maybe, where it's more of an individual sport and you just had to do what you do, maybe. But in football, where it's about a game of cohesion, it's about pieces fitting, I just don't think it's that simple. It will be a fascinating shot, though, to the rest of the league, because what has been the concern of the modern era of football, that, you know, a venture capital, a nation state, all these different kinds of entities have taken over clubs, and they spend an ungodly amount of money that make it unattainable for the rest of the league. If all of a sudden Liverpool, a club just based off of their financial model, based off being run well, and in the investment of one guy in John Henry and Fenway Sports Group, having a go and saying, let's see what we can do if we really had a go at this, it would be a really interesting shot that they're the ones that are the big spenders. They're the ones that all of a sudden become Manchester City and what they felt like to the rest of the league overnight as this financial juggernaut that no one's going to catch up with. I think that'd be a real fascinating flip of narrative, because Liverpool have kind of been, not quite underdogs, but kind of, we're the lovable team. Yeah. We're the ones that aren't doing it the way that those other teams. You instantly become the baddies. You instantly become the team that everyone is aspiring to and also kind of hating.
The baddies in a bad way. But yes, I will say this, Liverpool too, you have a team that win a championship, that win the Premier League, run away with it, and invest this much, and that would be also interesting part of that narrative, how different they've looked at it after becoming champions versus before they were champs.